Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do a review of the Kimber Pepper Blaster. Little two-shot pepper spray gun, if you will. Sorry about the lawnmower noise, guys. Hopefully this comes through clear. But gonna go look at it up close real quick, and then we're gonna actually shoot it and see what it actually does. So let's get started. Alright guys, here it is up close. Right now it's sitting in my OTG Hex Kydex holster. This is not a custom thing. You can just go to their website and they have this as an option you can buy, and they will just make it and ship it to you. You don't have to send them a pepper blaster or anything, so that's kind of nice. They did a good job undercutting the Kydex right here so you can get your finger on that grip. They cut a trough for the front sight because the thing does have sights. I'll show you those in a minute. I don't remember if it comes with a tech clip automatically or if that's the option I chose, but tech clips are great. Obviously, it's got a whole system in there, so you can mount whatever you would like right there and carry it however you want. I got this when I was living in California because I couldn't carry a gun. I also got a taser, and that was kind of bulky, so sometimes I didn't want to carry that, and I would switch to this instead. Just wanted to carry something with me around for self-defense, and since California is hell, I had to do something less than ideal. I'm not a big pepper spray guy myself. I do have some. I have some bear mace and a couple of those. My wife has a couple of things of pepper spray, but in my opinion, it's not the ideal choice for self-defense, but it's better than nothing. I'm not going to go into the whole debate about pepper spray. Just telling you guys it's not my cup of tea, typically speaking. But I do have this. So the whole idea behind the pepper blaster is it's this gun shape, kind of. So I mean, it does have a one finger grip on there, and you can get a quasi firing grip. So if you are used to guns, this is a pretty seamless transition. Even people who have played laser tag or things like that, you don't have to be a quote unquote gun person to be able to use this naturally and instinctively. You pull it out, get that grip. You do have sights. Now the sights on this thing are the standard red translucent plastic you see here. I added the white paint for contrast because before I did that, I couldn't really pick up the sights on this thing if I were to aim it. Now, granted, I'm not shooting long-range pistol matches with this, but you do want to hit the assailant in the face with this if you're shooting it for self-defense, and I figured sights that I could use would give me a better probability of doing that. It's got your label over here. This label has your expiration date. You can see this one is expired by a few months, which is why I'm actually going to go ahead and just do this video. They're not that expensive. I think I paid like 35 bucks for this one. I don't remember how much the holster was. I'll annotate both of those things in the video so you guys can take a look at that. But not too expensive. I'm not going to be out a bunch of money by doing this video. And since it's expired anyway, I figured, hell, why not? It's also got a little steel, or I don't know if it's steel, some kind of metal bar there for a lanyard. So if you were running or you wanted to add this to a keychain or something like that, you could do that as well. The trigger has this white curved line on both sides, and I've actually seen one of these that has been shot and is empty, and that white line had recessed behind the plastic, so you could tell it was there because the plastic is clear, but it's not as noticeable or as obvious. And I think, now I don't know for sure, but I think Kimber did that as a way to kind of let you know, hey, this thing's spent, don't use it for self-defense because it's not going to help you. It also has this little trigger protector here with these wings on top and bottom that lock into those slots that you can kind of see right there. And that just kind of helps prevent something from snagging on the trigger and pulling it. Personally, I thought about cutting it out, but I decided, because I do have the holster, and I kept it in the holster, which does a good job of keeping that trigger protected. But I decided, instead of cutting it out, I would just move it over to the side and keep it pressed over to the side, because there may come a day when I want to put this in a pocket or something like that, and I didn't want to just cut that out and not have that extra trigger protection. So my choice there. You guys make the decision on how you want to carry this thing. I don't know if I said this already, but it has 2 shots and 2 barrels. You use the term barrels loosely, nozzles, whatever you want to call them. One on top, one on bottom. And don't know how accurate it is or anything. I've never fired one. I'm going to show you guys that footage here in a second when we go back outside. And just going to see how effective this thing really would be. It's expired, but it's recently enough expired that I think it would still perform as it's supposed to. I don't think it's going to gunk up or anything like that and give us a weird result. So I think that's all I'm going to say about this itself. Let's just jump outside now and go do the actual firing. All right, guys, we're going to start about 10 feet away for the first shot and just see how that does, how it spreads and everything. I'm using this painted target on this piece of plywood, and I'm imagining that the big black circle in the middle is the guy's head. So we'll see if we have to adjust from what the factory sights are. 3, 2, 1. Alright, looks like I got it pretty well on there. Maybe a little low. Alright guys, I figured I'd bring you up close, show you what it looks like, where I actually hit. I was aiming for the center of that big circle. That's probably a 8-10 inch diameter circle, and it looks like the majority of it hit about 8 to 10 inches low. We got some high right as well. Some of the dots, you probably can't see it on camera, but some of the liquid did actually hit in the center of that circle, just not the majority of it. Spread nice and low. You can see the drops in the wood all the way over, if I can not make a shadow. Got it on pretty much the entire bottom half of this standard sheet of plywood. So that first shot came out of the bottom barrel, nozzle, whatever, and you can see the trigger didn't fully reset. So let's take that second shot and see if we get any differences. I'm gonna try to group this thing, quote unquote, aim in the same spot and see where that second shot hits. So back in a second with that. Hey guys, we're gonna do the second shot at a different angle just so you guys can kind of see a little bit of what I see. Again, this one's come out of the top barrel nozzle thing. I really had to pull that trigger hard. I almost thought it wasn't gonna go, but it did. So now I'm gonna stop the camera, take you guys up close and show you the aftermath. All right guys, that did kind of more of the same. It looks like a little bit higher, so it grouped more up in here now as opposed to down in here. Not too much higher. I can smell this stuff from here, by the way. It's not, actually doesn't smell too bad, but it's not bothering me at this distance. I don't know if that's because it's expired or what. I did notice after the first shot, my cameraman started coughing a little bit, so maybe it is still technically functional. I don't really know, like I just said, it is expired. So still a lot of dispersion across the target. Definitely not going to be a point weapon like a gun, but I don't know, it would probably still work for you. Even if you get this on somebody's like neck or chin or something, it's going to irritate their respiratory system enough that it should still have some effect. So let's go talk about some conclusions now. Alright guys, so final thoughts on the Kimber Pepper Blaster. I think it's a good option, especially if you aren't willing to carry a gun or you can't carry a gun. Sorry, California. You do get 2 shots of pepper spray, which hopefully would be enough to subdue an attacker, at least an unmotivated attacker. If they're on drugs or they're highly motivated, they'll be able to fight through pepper spray. You can go watch lots of badge cam footage of guys getting pepper sprayed and still fighting the cops. So it's definitely not a sure threat stopper, but very few things are. I would like to see that trigger pull, especially on the second shot, not be so difficult. I really thought this thing just wasn't going to fire until that last second. So in a self-defense situation, you've got adrenaline going, you're probably just going to snatch that trigger, and it may not be as much of an issue. But for me, I'd like to see it be a bit more user-friendly and ergonomic in that way. But for, I don't know, around 35 bucks, I think is what I paid for this one. Not a bad option to have just in case. Like if you have family in California or something, you're going to be traveling there.
something good to carry. That white line on the trigger that I mentioned is back behind the curved molded plastic here, letting me know this has been used, and it stayed there after the first shot as well. So I think that's a really cool feature that Kimber put into this, and yeah, I think that's about it. So thanks guys, I appreciate you watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, share the video with your friends. Post down below if you thought this was an interesting video, if you'd like to see more pepper spray tests in the future so you guys can compare this to something more like your typical mace keychain sized pepper spray, and anything else you guys would like to see. Post that down in the comments below. So, thanks again guys. Y'all take care, roll tide, and I'll see you later.